Hey Helldivers, today I'm going to show you how to gain access to a secret Automaton urban map. We'll also go over hidden details that you may have missed in the latest patch, and I'll showcase a cool feature in Helldivers too. But that's not all, I'll be covering much more. If at any point you find the video informative, please tap the like button below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. What we have first in today's video is an interesting bug. Apparently the developers have been testing urban environments on the Automaton planets, and somehow this feature made it through the patch. You can now dive into Automaton planets with an urban map. Though it's quite simple, it will require you to refresh the missions, and it can be somewhat difficult or rare to find. To do this, we need to locate either the Lakai sector, where you can find the Penta planet, or the Tanis sector, where you'll find the Zephia planet. Either one will work, but you'll need to go for a level 3 difficulty mission, specifically a sabotage supply base mission. Now you'll know you've got the right mission when it says colony mission above the mission name. For instance, we're going to check both sectors to see if we can find a sabotage supply base mission with colony written above it. If you can't find it, which can happen because it's somewhat difficult to locate, you'll need to refresh the mission list. This can be done by loading up a mission, selecting a bunch of random stratagems, and then diving onto a planet and backing out of the mission. This action will refresh the missions on the planet you've just dived onto. At this point, look around to see if you can find the colony mission with sabotage supply bases. For example, I was able to locate one, and you can find it right here. Now, there's two ways to tell if you found an urban environment map: if you see colony mission written above the mission name, or if the map on the right side shows a city biome. Once you've located the mission, go ahead, select it, and dive onto the planet. I haven't found an urban environment on higher difficulties yet, maybe it's hard to find, but I think this is only available on difficulty 3 missions, specifically on the 2 planets I mentioned earlier. Overall, it looks like the developers have been testing the automatons in urban biomes. I suspect we'll see more missions like this in the near future. It's just a matter of time, right? What I'll do right here is I'll show you what the urban map looks like with the automatons. It's pretty much the same as the Illuminates, except you'll see automaton banners. They've also taken up a large portion in the middle of the city and replaced it with fabricators. I actually like this a lot, and I can't wait to see what else the developers have in store for us. If you didn't know about this, now you do. I think this is absolutely awesome, and you should try it out. Now, I do want to give credit to Ironsights because I saw his post yesterday, and I was able to record this as well, So all of this is pre-recorded, just letting you guys know. And yeah, thank you to Ironsights as well as the Helldiver that originally posted the tweet, so really cool. Also, if you haven't noticed just yet, the urban environments in general, whether on the Automaton or the Illuminate side, have updated buildings to include shop names. I think this makes the city feel more alive. Before, there were just buildings without names on them, but now if you look around, you can see different signs like this one here that says, "Road closed, use alternative route for evacuation." There's also a bank called Truster Bank, and even a place called Bugfest Food that sells barbecue food along with other selections. For me, this is a great change that, I don't know, it just makes the city feel more alive. And sure, there's a lot of destruction and stuff, so it's hard to say that, but anyways, you can now explore and find all sorts of different types of stores. If you'd like to see more, I'll go over a few right now. This was revealed on X by Ironsights, and it's not a leak at all. I'm pretty sure these signs can be seen on the urban maps currently. Nonetheless, there's the Ministry of Expansion local office, Ministry of Truth local office, Back in Line Hair Saloon, all regulation styles, Truster Bank, which we've already mentioned, Voting Voyager, the interstellar travel experts, and then there's Seaf Food or Seafood, Super Clean Laundry, Oil Stains, Spores, Bile Blood, T. Ruth's Cram School, Admissions Open, Sustainable Re-Education, Liberty Store, Democracy, interesting name, Democracy Cafe, a few static banners, Bugfest, we've also went over that one as well, and last but not least, Inca Interior. Next up, I'm sure a majority of you have noticed what I'm about to bring up next, and that's the fact the developers have implemented a page selection in the Superstore. You can see at the bottom section, there's an option to go left or right. However, you can't use it at the moment since we don't have a second page yet. At some point down the road, I'm sure they're going to update the shop again, either including a permanent store section or reintroducing the Helldivers 2 crossover items, which would be very cool for those of you who missed it last year. What I'm personally looking forward to is a much larger selection that will showcase a bunch of different armors in the past that I've yet to purchase. Continuing forward, did you know that you can find hidden samples and supplies buried underground? Yep, there are certain parts of the map where samples are buried, and the only way to retrieve them is picking up a nearby shovel, namely an E-tool or entrenchment tool, and digging into the surface. To be specific, you dig by holding down the left trigger. If I had to guess, on PC it might be the right mouse button, but I honestly couldn't tell you. Anyway, once you start digging, you will eventually reveal the supplies and samples. I thought this was a neat feature to include in the latest patch. It's kind of fun to dig trenches. What I like to see is a way to purchase the E-tool through the superstore. I have a feeling they might do this, but at the moment there's nothing in the shop. Maybe down the road they'll include the E-tool in the shop. However, currently you can only find an entrenchment tool either lying on the ground or in a bunker. Now, if you're like me and you want to use the shovel, but you're by yourself and there's an entrenchment tool inside a nearby bunker, is there a way to get the tool without needing a second partner to open the door? Sure, there's a trick you can use to pick one up. All you have to do is dive forward towards this large bunker door, go into a prone position, and you should be able to pick up the entrenchment tool without a fellow Helldiver assisting you with the door. I believe this can be done at any bunker that has the tool inside, so that's another neat trick that I think you'll find useful. With that, have fun out there digging trenches. Now there's another cool change that came with the recent patch is the update to terminal displays. Before the patch, there were red boxes on the display that would turn green when tapped. In the latest patch, they now look like switches on the terminal. Sure, it's not a massive change, but I think it's a nice touch in terms of detail. Speaking of cool changes, did you know the developers added a huge Bile hive nest? If you didn't notice, take a look right here. I'm currently on a biome that has been taken over by bugs. If you look towards the middle, there's this large gaping hole from which Bile can actually crawl out of. This is terrifying yet also amazing change that I wasn't expecting at all. So now on planets overrun by bugs, you'll encounter Bile spawning, similar to how stalkers have their own spawning points. What I like to show next is a useless trick, if I'm being honest, but it's sort of fun. You can use your jump pack to fly forward and emote at the same exact time. Now, if you do this with the kick emote and you spam the kick emote, it will actually allow you to essentially temporarily fly around as long as you continue to spam the kick emote. The second you stop, well, you'll end up flying towards the ground, which isn't too fun. Anywho, this is another hidden thing you can do in Helldivers 2. Besides that, if you haven't seen the recent Wormhole situation going on, then allow me to show it to you, and I'll go over it as well. We do have a dispatch that says, the Ministry of Science has confirmed the proposed link between Illuminate activity and the disappearance of large swaths of dark energy from our galaxy. With every invasion, the Illuminate appear to be siphoning off more of this exotic force. The purpose of their action remains unknown. By measuring space-time fluctuations, the Ministry of Science is able to estimate how much dark energy is being stolen. Trackers on all galactic maps have been updated accordingly. Nevertheless, if you take a look at any of the planets that the Illuminates have invaded, there's a description here that says, the Illuminate are generating dark energy on this planet, which they are using to move the Meridian Singularity towards Super Earth. They must be stopped at all costs. With that being said, if you look at the Meridian Wormhole or Black Hole or Singularity, whichever one you want to call it, it's actually a wormhole. You'll notice on the companion app that there's a progress bar, which is kind of scary. We could end up in a very terrifying situation. The Illuminates are attempting to push the giant wormhole towards Super Earth to suck it into a different part of the Milky Way. All I know is, if they're actually able to pull this off, then we're super cooked, barbecue style. We're straight up going to end up in a different part of space, which would ultimately kill us all. As a super citizen and a Helldiver, I definitely don't want to be sent to another part of the galaxy, but hey, if you're an Automaton sympathizer or a squid lover, then maybe that's what you want. I do have a question for you guys. Do you think this is actually going to happen? Do you think we're going to get sucked into there and then the whole galactic war map will be reset? Or do you think we're actually going to win this one? If you're democratic and you believe in Super, then you should say we're going to do it. But again, if you're an Automaton sympathizer or a squid lover, then you're probably going to say, no, we're absolutely dead. And you know what? Maybe you're not wrong. Maybe there is some way that these Illuminates are going to be able to send the damn wormhole towards us and just suck us up into an oblivion. Who knows? Anyway, I just want to know what you think about this, as well as everything we've talked about in today's video. Post a comment below. and let's discuss it. Last but not least, for today's video, we have the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured in the video, all you have to do is comment down below, and that's it. The first top comment is by Spartan in Virginia. A portable hell bomb would make stratjammers far simpler to deal with. Hell yes, and it's gonna be fun to use that just to kamikaze towards a bunch of different factions. The second top comment is by the ABG Hunter. Fun fact, when you wear these new armors, you magically see Horus and a fall into rage-induced state. That's an awesome comment right there. The third and final comment is by Ratchet1122. You can now pick up shovels and dig holes. Plus, it's a melee weapon. Thank me later. Yep, and not only that, you can actually find supplies underneath the map, which we've already went over. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you check out all the stuff we've talked about from yesterday, and you can tell me what you think about everything in today's video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.